Hello everyone, my name is Elena and welcome to today's tutorial in which I will show you how to crochet this top. All the information about the yarn is going to be in the actual tutorial, but I wanted to touch base a few things before we begin. The only measurement you are going to need is the circumference of your bust. You will divide that number by 2. It will give you the measurement of the front panel and the back panel. To that measurement, you can add 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, totally up to you. It will depend how wide is going to be your top. Then we are going to make the sleeves and I will show you how to attach them, and we will finish the tutorial with the neckline. If you like charts, I will have the chart for this design pinned on my Pinterest. The link is down in the description box. And as always, a small disclaimer, I don't like to classify my videos to what type of video that is for beginners, intermediates or advanced. Watch the tutorial and decide if you can actually make it, if you like it. And if it works for you, grab your yarn, crochet hook, let's get to work. What I used to create this blouse is, okay, let's start with scissors, obviously a darning needle. You can buy this type of needles in any craft stores, no particular size, as long as your yarn goes through the eye or the ear, however you call it. A size 4mm hook. In the yarn I used Patton's Glam Stripes. So for size small, borderline medium, I used 3 full and the 4th, I wouldn't say half, I think it's a little more than a half. Okay, let me show you the close-up of the label so you guys can get an idea of what kind of yarn this is. I did figure out that not only Americans are watching, but Europeans as well. So if one of them has 60 grams, I use 180 plus, let's say, a half. I would say just go with 240 just in case, you know, so you have enough. But that's for size small to medium. Again, count for your size. And here is the rest of the information. It's a light size 3, requires a 4mm hook. It's made in Turkey, so if you are guys in Europe, I bet you have something similar. And this is the close-up of the yarn, so it's easier for you to find it. If you need any additional information, you can always Google it and get all the information that you need. Use the search engine, it will help you a lot. And yeah, this is it. You can also go to yarnspiration.com and see if this yarn is available. If not, you can always find an alternative that requires a 4mm hook, has the same, where is it, the same weight. So this is all the information I can possibly give you guys. You make the executive decision on what kind of yarn you want to use. Other than that, let's get started. Right here I have the chart. If it's easier for you to read charts, I'll take a picture of this and put it on Pinterest. Just follow the link, it's down in the description box. As always, I will show you a small sample, so I'm just gonna chain 30. Once you've chained your multiples of 10, you are gonna chain 1, and then you are gonna chain 3. That will count as the first double crochet. Then you are gonna yarn over, count back 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. And put a double crochet into the 4th. There you have it. Then we will chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We will skip 3. 1, 2, 3. And put a single crochet into the 4th. Chain 1. Skip 1. And put a single crochet into the 2nd. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, into the 4th, put a V-stitch. V-stitch is double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet into the same space. so it forms a V-stitch. Then chain 3 again, skip 3, single crochet into the 4th, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet into the next. And this is how we are going to be continuing repeating. So next will be chain 3, skip 3, V-stitch into the 4th. Again, chain 3, skip 3, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet into the next, chain 3, and this is how you go repeating till the end of the row. To end the row, you are going to chain 3 and we'll count 1, 2, 3. Into the 4th you will put 2 double crochets, not a V-stitch, just 2 double crochets. And this is our first row. Okay, at the end of this row we will chain 1 and turn our work. Put a single crochet into the first double crochet, chain 3, move to this space of chain 1, yarn over twice and make a treble, but don't finish it. We will put 2 trebles with the same top. So this is your first unfinished treble. We will start the second. So 2 unfinished trebles and we will yarn over and finish them. Then chain 2. Then again 2 trebles with the same top. So we will put 1 unfinished treble, second unfinished treble, and finish the group. Again chain 2 and put the third group of 2 trebles into the same space. Like so. Then we will chain 3 and put a single crochet in the middle of the V-stitch. And here we will start repeating till the end of the row. We will chain 3, move to the next chain 1 space and put our 3 groups of trebles into it. So first unfinished treble, second unfinished treble, finish, chain 2, the second group of trebles, chain 2, and the third group into the same space. And again we will chain 3 and single crochet into the middle of the V-stitch. And this is how you go till the end of the row. This is what we have. And to finish the row we will chain 3 and put a single crochet into the top of chain 3 from the previous row. And this is our second row. We will chain 1 and turn the work. Put a single crochet on top of this single crochet and then put a single crochet into the space of the chain 3, then chain 3 and put a V-stitch on top of the second group of trebles, so in the middle. Just yarn over, find the top of the second group and put a V-stitch. double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, everything into the same space, like so. And then we will start the repeat. Chain 3. Here you have 2 chain 3 spaces separated by a single crochet. You will put a single crochet into the first chain 3 space. Then you will chain 1 and put a single crochet into the next chain 3 space. Then you will chain 3 and put a V-stitch on top of the second group. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, like so. When you reach the end, you will chain 3, put a single crochet into this last space, and a single crochet on top of the last single crochet. And this is our row number 3. For row number 4, we will chain 4 and turn our work. We will put a treble into the very first space, or the last double crochet from the previous row. Then we will chain 2 and put a group of 2 trebles with the same top. So we will start the first treble, not finish it. Start the second treble, put it into the same space, and finish the second treble. So as you can see, we have a part of our group. Usually we will have 3, but because this is the beginning of the row, we will have only 2. Then we will chain 3, put a single crochet into the V-stitch, then chain 3, put a group into the chain 1 space, or 3 groups. So first unfinished treble, second unfinished treble, finish them, chain 2, the second group goes into the same space, first unfinished, second, finish them, chain 2, and the last group into the same space. First, second, and finish. This is what we have. And then the repeat. We will chain 3, put a single crochet into the V-stitch, then chain 3 again, and put another group right here into the chain 1 space. And keep going until you reach the end of the row. You will chain 3, put a single crochet into the V-stitch, then chain 3 again, and exactly like we started the row, we will finish it into the last. We will put the 2 groups of 2 trebles. So this is our first group, finish it, chain 2, and put the second group into the same last space. So we are keeping everything symmetrical, like so. And now we will begin repeating everything from row number 1. So basically you have 4 rows that are repeating. We will chain 3 and turn our work. We will put a double crochet into the same space, the first one. Now you can refer back to row number 1 if you have the chart. You're going to chain 3, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, so we can create the base for the next rows group. Like See, we're creating the base like row number 1, and then for row number 6 it will repeat. We will have a group right on top of this one. Chain 3, V-stitch on top of the second group, like so. So you can see row number 1 has the same exact V-stitch. And this is how you go repeating. Chain 3, single crochet into the first chain 3 space, chain 1, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 3, and V-stitch on top of the group, of the second group of trebles. All the way till the end of the row. Chain 3, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet into the next space, chain 3, and we're finishing the row by putting 2 double crochets into the space between chain 4 and the treble. 1 and 2, and that's your repeat of row number 1. Now you're gonna chain 1 and turn, and you will start with the repeat of row number 2. So you will keep repeating rows 1 through 4 until you reach the area where you want your sleeve openings to start, or your underarm area, but try to finish that row with either repeat of row number 2 or repeat of row number 4, one of the even rows, and I will meet you there, guys. So once you've achieved the desired length from the bottom to the underarm area, I will show you how to do this part. Then we will crochet a couple of rows to where you want your décolleté to start. So for me it was this couple of rows. Because my front is already done, my back will have a little more rows. Because I don't want, you know, my back to have exactly the same deep opening like the front. But if you want your front and back to match, you can do however you want. So I will add maybe up to here. Then I will show you this part. Now when you have an idea what we're going to be doing, here is the chart for, you know, how you have to take in. If you need a wider underarm area, you're just gonna have to skip the parts. If you need to skip these 2 parts or these 3 parts, again you're just gonna be slip stitching or repeating the same exact thing. For me it's just up to here, up to the half of the shell. Alright, so you finished the row. Pull up a long loop, don't cut it, but transfer the yarn through it to form a knot. All this mess. Now you're just gonna insert your hook into, we had a chain 2 here, into the second chain, and kind of slip stitch or pull the yarn, but make sure to straighten it. Then you are gonna slip stitch in each stitch to the top of the shell. So 1, 2 in between, 2, 3, and the 4th one is gonna fall exactly onto the middle. And from now on we're just gonna be repeating the same exact steps. This will be the repeat of row number 1, so we will chain 3, that will count as our first double crochet, and put another double crochet into the same space or into the same stitch. We're gonna chain 3, single crochet into the first space, chain 1, single crochet into the next space, chain 3, V-stitch on top of the middle of the shell. So basically repeat the same exact thing. Chain 3 again, single crochet into the space, chain 1, single crochet into the next space, and so on. Only this time you're not gonna go all the way till the end. You're gonna stop right here. So everything is symmetrical, just like you started in the middle of the first shell, you're gonna finish in the middle of the last shell. Do not continue. I'll meet you guys here. And put 2 double crochets on top of the shell, the middle of the shell. And this is how we complete this row. We don't go any farther, we turn the work. And here we will repeat row number 2. So chain 1, single crochet into the first double crochet of the row, chain 3, and put a shell into the chain 1 space. 2 unfinished trebles together, chain 2, a group of 2 unfinished trebles, finish them, chain 2, and the next group, the third one. Okay, and we are gonna chain 3, single crochet into the V-stitch. And now you are going to be repeating these rows for as many times, for as tall you want your front part or back part to be. So once you reach the opening of the neckline where you want your, décolleté to, or collar to end, there you stop, and again stop with either second or fourth row, with either one, so you have the shells on top. So after I decided where my arms are gonna go, how many rows I made? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there were 8 rows for my front. And for the back opening, I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and now we are gonna make these parts. And because I stopped with row number 4, with the repeat of row number 4, I will start with the repeat of row number 1. We'll chain 3 and put a double crochet into the same space. So we have 2 double crochets. Then chain 3, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and chain 3, and a V-stitch into the middle of the shell. Before I've started this next row, I should have probably explained you how to find the middle. So I have halves, 1, 1, and 3. So these 3 are gonna be the middle of the back, and I will start decreasing starting these shells, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If your size is larger, just kind of count from the sides inwards and see which ones are left, and then you can start decreasing. If you want to make it round, leave the 3. If you want to make it a V, you would start decreasing. You would go till the middle and start decreasing from the middle. But because my front is round, I would like to make a round decrease as well. Chain 3, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. So these are my 3. I'll have to stop here. Then I'm gonna chain 3, V-stitch, just the same repeat of row number 1. And when I chain 3, I will single crochet into this space, and I will not continue anymore. This is the place where I'm gonna turn the work. Now I'm gonna slip stitch into each of the chains to reach the middle of the V-stitch. Chain 1, and then slip stitch into the first, then next one, the next one, the double crochet, and only then into the middle of the V-stitch. Now when you are looking at row number 2, you can see that in the middle of the V-stitches we have single crochets, so I will chain 1 and put a single crochet. Then I'm gonna continue with the row, chain 3, put a shell into the chain 1 space, chain 2, then 2 more trebles with the same top, and 2 more trebles, then we're chaining 3, single crochet into the V-stitch, chain 3, shell, chain 2, and 2 more trebles, chain 3, and we're finishing the row like we would have finished any regular row with a single crochet into the chain 3 from the previous row. There we go, and you can already see it's going sideways. So we are going to turn the work. The repeat of row number 3 starts with chain 1, single crochet into the single crochet, then single crochet into the space, chain 3, V-stitch on top of the shell, chain 3, single crochet into the space, chain 1, single crochet to the next space, chain 3, and the V-stitch into the middle of the last shell, then chain 3, and when you get to the last space I would just slip stitch into it, so just it looks like a cleaner line. Now turn the work and slip stitch to the middle of the V-stitch. So I'm gonna have to chain 1 first and then start slip stitching into each chain, into the double crochet, into the middle of the V-stitch, chain 1 and put a single crochet here, and the same repeat, chain 3, a shell into the chain 1 space, then chain 3, single crochet into the V, chain 3, and finish the row regularly. For this one we will put 2 groups of the shell on, only 2 sets of trebles. So this is our first set, chain 2, and the second set. That's our repeat of row number 4. Okay, turn the work, and we will start the row with repeat of row number 1, chain 3, double crochet, chain 3, and single crochet into the space, chain 1, single crochet to the next space, chain 3, and a V-stitch in the top, and again chain 3 and slip stitch into the last space, like so. Turn the work, chain 1, slip stitch into the middle of the V, and make sure you are slip stitching into the double crochet of the V and only then into the center. Chain 1 and put a single crochet, chain 3, a shell into the middle or into the chain 1 space, chain 2, 2 trebles, chain 2 and 2 more trebles, chain 3 and single crochet into the chain 3 from the previous row, like so. For the other part, you are gonna have to start in the middle right here. You can't start on this side because you are gonna end up that this row that is facing me is gonna be, you know, on the wrong side. Then the shell is turned to the wrong side. This side is gonna be, you know, to the front. So you have to keep it consistent. That's why you are gonna, just like here, you single crochet into the space. You are gonna join. Also make sure you count your middle fans and then skip 1 space and join into the next space. So I'm gonna slip stitch and put a single crochet, then chain 3 and put a V-stitch into the shell, basically just repeating the pattern. For the sleeves, I wanted to show you how to make the sleeve, but really, you know, there is nothing to show. It's the same exact pattern. So you would also chain the multiples of 10, like you did for the, you know, for the top. And this is how the sleeve gonna be. So I chained 60. That was enough for me, and I want my sleeves to be probably this long, and as you can see it will go around my arm perfectly. So you would chain multiples of 10 for as many times as you need for the sleeve to go totally completely around your arm. Also you can decide to make it very fit or to make it a little, you know, loose, totally up to you. And then you will be working up all the way to the shoulder seam. So here I have the finished sleeve, and I will leave this straight part at the bottom of the sleeve, and I will sew this part to the opening. And the way I will start is sewing the back panel first, and then I'll turn the work and sew in the front panel. Alright, let's see what we have here. And if it's easier for you guys to just go ahead and do slip stitches or single crochets, that's totally fine with I mean with me, as long as it's easy for you. So how I will sew is I will start at the seam and get the needle through, and I will get the needle through the first chain or stitch, and I will tie these two together, the piece of the yarn from the sleeve, so it's secure and doesn't move. Okay, now I'm gonna find the middle of the sleeve. So I have 2 halves here, one, and this would be the middle. So the tip of this shell should fall on this seam on the shoulder, like so, and I need to spread this part all the way to the middle. And now we are gonna try to put them together so they look nice and straight. I'm gonna show you just a small part how I do it, just to give you an idea, and you can, you know, carry it on after that. Stitches or any chains from the work, really I'm mostly eyeing it. It's not a, you know, a pattern how I'm doing it, but I want, you know, to keep it so I don't have gaps or anything like that. Then I'm moving to the next chain and choosing a chain from here or part of the stitch, like so, Always keep in mind that your sleeve is a little smaller than the opening of the arm, so you might want to stretch the sleeve a little bit but not stretch this part. So then you move to the next chain or next stitch from the sleeve and maybe skip one here and insert into the next. I'll move to the next one and pick up two from here, one from here. It really doesn't matter how you're gonna be picking them up. Try to spread it so it's not gathered on the sleeve. Yes, so you can kind of see that we have a little more on the panel side, so just keep kind of stretching it a little bit. But when you put it on, you will not even notice that one side was a little larger than the other side. It will fall in place. So you pick up the next stitch from the sleeve and maybe skip one or a half from the main part. Okay, and we've come a full circle. Now I am going to connect this part to this. Secure it. Again, don't pull too tight so this part doesn't wrinkle. And now we are gonna sew the sleeve, and from here we're just gonna be doing exactly the same. Pick up a chain from each side or two chains from each side, and because these sides are equal, you will not have to stretch or adjust anything. You just are gonna have to adjust the, so here we have the two shells, put the bases one right next to each other and sew the trebles together. A chain from here, a chain from there. And what I also like to do is insert the needle into the actual base of both chains or both shells. Then we have single crochets, we sew them together, the double crochets, and I think you got the idea. Just try again to make it not too loose but not too tight either. Alright friends, so I tried this on, and as always, instead of size small, I thought that I wear a size larger, and this one ended up being a size medium, which is a little too large for me, and I will have to make everything possible to gather this somehow so it's not as wide. Unless you want it off shoulder, then that's perfect. So I slip stitched, and I'm going to join into the seam on the shoulder, and now I'm gonna be improvising together with you guys. So chain one and single crochet into the same exact space. Now let's see what we can do here. I will chain 3 and we'll join into this part of the shell, then chain 3 again and join somewhere here. So to be honest, I'm just eyeing the spread of the base of the neckline. Again 3 and single crochet into this space, again chain 3 and skip some and join somewhere, and this is what I have. So basically I'm trying to create a base for the pattern that is going to be sitting on top of this space. And again I'm gonna skip these and single crochet here, chain 3 again, maybe skip this part and single crochet here. If you want it even easier, I just thought about it, all you can do is just chain a very long chain and put it, you know, like in each space, and have a bow tie tying in the front where you can adjust the opening of the neckline. That can be an option as well, or if you want to do it like I'm doing, just follow me. we'll see what we end up with. Okay, so here I'm gonna skip these and chain into the middle of the shell, chain 3 again, and chain single crochet into this single crochet, chain 3 again, and single crochet into the middle of the shell. So down here where the neckline is, and in the back right here where it's straight, it's gonna be easier. It's the sides that are a little more difficult to decide where to put it. And here I'm just gonna skip all these and insert the hook into this space. And as always, guys, once you've completed, when you have a chart or something, it's easy to follow. But if you are creating something your own, once I'm gonna complete this round of whatever I'm doing here, I'm gonna try it on and see. I'd rather try it on a million times than I will, finish my work and try it on and it's gonna be a mess. So I will advise you and encourage you, if you are creating something out of your head, make sure to try it on before you proceed to the next step. To this one, and now we're gonna turn, and I'm gonna chain 3 and we'll single crochet into the seam so everything is even, and chain 3 and move into this space. And let me turn this, chain 3 again into this next space, so I'm skipping a whole lot. And then I'm gonna skip all the way here. Well, that's gonna be a huge gap. I'm gonna skip into this space and then chain 3, and it looks like it's not gonna be like in the front where we single crochet here then into the middle of the shell. I'm just gonna kind of spread them evenly. Chain 3 to this one, chain 3 into this space, and see, here I skipped the whole shell. Here I was using the second space, but to me it doesn't look ugly, and it as long as it looks spread evenly, it really doesn't matter. Nobody will really notice that it wasn't supposed to be like that, or you just eyed it. All they will see is the beautiful work that you did. And now I'm gonna skip these and single crochet, and here we have this space left, so I will eye the middle and single crochet in it, and then I will chain 3 and single crochet or slip stitch into the first single crochet and pull up a long loop, and I'm gonna go and try it on and we'll be right back. Alright, I tried it on. It's still a little wide. The first easy design that comes into my mind is slip stitch 2 to reach the middle of the chain 3 space, the very first one. You're gonna be slip stitching into the chains, and then I'm gonna chain 3 and single crochet into the middle of the next space. So basically make the second round of this repeating the same steps. Chain 3, single crochet into the middle of the space, chain 3, single crochet into the middle of the space, and do the same thing all the way around. And I've come a full circle, so I will chain the last 3 and slip stitch into the beginning where we started the chain 3. Now I'm going to slip stitch into the space to the left. Okay, and now in every single space we are going to be putting a single crochet, half double crochet, a single crochet, and moving backwards, half double crochet and a single crochet for this little shell to form. Then we're moving into the next space and doing the same steps, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, and backwards, half double crochet and single crochet, and so on. And this is the whole edging around. I finished where I started by slip stitching into the first single crochet where, you know, at the beginning of the round. If this neck opening suits you, you like it, you can stop here, just chain 1 and pull up a long loop and cut off the yarn. But if it's still a little too wide for your liking, we can add another round. So you would slip stitch to get to the top of the shell on top of the double crochet, and then chain 2 and single crochet on top of the double crochet of the next shell. Then chain 2 again, single crochet on top of the next shell, chain 2 again. And this is how you are going to be moving all the way around. And the reason we are chaining 2 is because we don't want our neckline to flare. If you feel like chain 2 is a little too tight for your liking, you can chain 3 between the shells. This way the neckline is going to be a tad wider. For me, I will use chain 2 and single crochet on top of the double crochet, and this is what we have, and I'll meet you guys here. And as I come to the end of this round, I'm still chaining 2, and with this, the last ones, I will chain 2 and slip stitch into the top of the shell where we started. And this was it for today's tutorial. I hope you liked it and learned something new today. Share your pictures with me on Instagram and Facebook. The links are down in the description box. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.